Blades Ramble are proudly supported by our main channel sponsor, My Business Group, a group of brands designed to support owners, leaders and managers in business. We would not be where we are without the incredible support of John and the team. If you're looking to grow your business, contact mybusinessgroup.co.uk today for more information or follow the link in the description below.
Blades fans, subscribe to Blades Ramble. Up the Blades.
What is happening, Blades? And welcome back to the Blades Ramble. I am, look a bit short when I do that. I am, of course, Jimmy, and this is the return of 10-minute transfers because Sheffield United have already, we are on the 9th of January, but it's pretty quick for us. We made a signing, look. We made a signing, Ki-Jana Hoever. It came in last night while we were on football therapy. So we've already had a little bit of a chat with Tom Not From, Bald and Brilliantly, and the Man Mountain about it. Go over to Ramble FC and watch last night's football therapy if you want to see our immediate reaction to this. But we're going to sort of dabble in a bit more of the 10-minute transfer stuff that we've done previously. So I want to hear your thoughts on it. We're here for a quick time, a good time, not a long time, whatever the saying is. What do we know about Ki-Jana Hoever? It's caught me a little bit on the hop because I wasn't expecting us to go as big for a right back, if I'm honest. And I don't mean that in any sort of condescending way to the position or anything like that. I'm pleasantly surprised. And I think it sort of states our intention, really, on where we want to be this season. And that we're certainly not giving up on the season. Not that I thought we ever would, but I had in my mind that we would sign somebody like Harry Clark. And to a lot of people, that would be an okay signing. Most may be disappointed with that. Some might think, yeah, that's a good solid addition. The reason I thought that was because I thought Seriki will still be our number one right back. And at this signing, for me, brings that into question. Who is our number one right back? As a fan of the club, this is exactly what you want. You want competition in positions where you think, who is the better one? Who is the better? At the moment, Sam McCallum is defying the odds and he's getting in the team on merit above Harrison Burrows. But we would all like to think that Burrows can come back at some stage and battle and have a really tough gig. Who's going to get in, Ben Mee or Tyler Binden? Don't know at the minute because Ben Mee was playing well before he got injured. Tyler Binden's come in and done really well. These are the battles you want all over the pitch. But I just thought we would try and further develop Seriki. Not that this is not developing him, but this is the best he's played this season. He definitely needed competition. He definitely needed help. He needed taking off at 70 minutes in some games because he's been absolutely busting his gut all season for us. And there are slight reports that he might be carrying a knock and things like this, but Ki-Jana Hoever, do not sleep on Ki-Jana Hoever. He's not coming in to warm the bench. This will be, and we talked about it again last night on football therapy a little bit, this will be a shared minutes thing. This will be, he will get probably just as many minutes as Seriki if he plays his cards right and obviously performs. It's a high level of competition now at right back. And that is really good. Really good. And I have to commend Sheffield United, whether you point that direction, in the direction of Chris Wilder or the board or both. Or obviously the scouting team are heavily involved. Wilder has the final say on the signings, but whether it's the board that are backing him for this, don't get me wrong. And look, we can't ignore the fact that he will be an expensive signing. He's. I know we've sent back Ben Godfrey, we've sent back Louis Barry. There might be more discussions to go on with some existing loans, and there'll certainly be ins and outs. This will be a hefty investment for Sheffield United, and I think it shows proper intent in terms of what we're going to do this season. So, what do we know about Ki-Jana Hoever? We know that he's a right back by trade. I'm on Transfer Market, and it does tell you that he can play left back and centre half. I've seen highlights of him, which we'll come to actually. I've seen highlights of him playing left back at times. I wouldn't want to see him at centre half, if I'm honest. He's very much in the similar mould to Seriki, I would say. He's a confident boy, and we'll come to that as well in a minute. But he's got a year left on his, 18 months left on his Wolves contract. So when he's on loan with us till the end of the season, so he's still got a year at Wolves to go after that. And chances are, let's be right, Wolves are going to get relegated. So they will likely keep him for the Championship season. So I think this will be a one and done pretty much in terms of, unless we get promoted or Seriki is sold in the summer or something like that. It doesn't matter. We don't have to think medium to long term at the moment. We have to think about what can he give us this season. And I think it's a really strong signing. I'm really pleased with it. Really pleased. He's only 23 years old. I've just clicked off it, but I think he's only 23 years old. Signed from Liverpool for something like £9.5 million about 4 years ago. So there's a real prospect there. On this signing, Chrissy Wilder said it's no secret that we need to strengthen on the right side. Interesting. Didn't say it right back. On the right side, he said. And that's more interesting to me because we've got 3 right wingers. We've got Andre Brooks, who's playing well and needs some competition, but has competition in Chong and Ogbeni, but saying we need to strengthen on the right side. And during discussions about personnel in that area going forward, Key's name was always one which featured prominently as he possesses quality, says Wilder. What I like about him, though, is the desire to go and play. He's ready to take the next opportunity in his career, and we're delighted to have added him to our squad, not least for balance. I think that's fair. And Confident Key says, he's quoted in his interview as saying, I'm a football playing right back, so I have quality on the ball, a good right foot, defensively I'm solid, and have some experience in me. I feel fit and I'm ready to go. Go on then, son. Go. I don't mind that at all. Back yourself. I like him already, to be honest. He's the sort of, like Femi, he's the sort of player that gets you off your seat. I've already shown qualities in this league, but I want to show it again now under this gaffer. The team had a difficult start, but are now winning games, and I had to put this in. Hopefully we can keep it going and make the playoffs. I've sort of surmised what he said there in that final sentence, but it basically mentioned we're looking at the playoffs. Of course we are. Nobody's been allowed to say it, but of course we are. That clearly changes my team for the weekend. He is now in. Seriki gets a well-earned rest, and he comes in as the questionable right-back position that we were talking about. And that, for me, I mean, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put some highlights on. I hope this works. But I'm going to try and put some highlights on screen for you, just what I put together. And you let me know what you think to some of these images. And I'll put this out as a short as well on the Ramble at some point. But these are the sort of things we can... And look, I never trust highlight packages, so I'm not going to go back on what I've said previously. Well, I don't know why that's happened. Maybe because I've... Anyway. I'll tell you what I could do. All right, isn't it? All right when it works. I'll knock that off. That might work better. Right, okay. So, look, I'm distracting myself here, though. But look at... So this is when he's playing on the left. This is on the right-hand side, obviously. Lovely little turn here. He's a bit of us, isn't he? He's a bit of us. Nice little finish there as well on the overlap. It's exciting. Look, and don't get fooled by highlights. I'm falling into my own trap here. Do not get fooled by highlights. But wowzers. This is only last season, by the way. These are highlights from his last season at Auxerre. These aren't like going into the archives and finding stuff from 4 or 5 years ago. This is when he played 38 games in League for Auxerre on loan from Wolves. He's had a couple of loans. He's been with Stoke in the Championship for a couple of seasons. That was 3-4 years ago. Did really well for them. So excited about this one. And I think it plugs the gap that we needed plugging. And everything else now, we are not desperate for any particular position, I don't think. I don't think we're desperate. And that is a beautiful place to be. So I'm just going to read out, before we wind up, because we're almost at 10 minutes already, I'm just going to read some of your comments to finish. And then we'll wrap up. But get your comments in below and let me know what you think. And we'll, if you like the return of 10-minute transfers and the highlights package and things like that, then we can keep doing stuff like this. So let me know what you think, guys. Gaz starts us off. The man in black says, good addition, difficult decision of who is now the starting right back, mind. That's what we, as fans, that's what we want. I keep saying that because Seriki might be thinking, what's what's he playing at? Bringing in a Premier League player. But you've got to up your game, haven't you? You want players fighting for the spot. Great addition for the remainder of the season, says Batman Lou. Add strength and a rotation option to our right-hand side without compromising on attacking qualities. Up the blades, up the Ramble. Like and subscribe. It's free, folks. Thank you, my mate. Lou, in one paragraph, sums up this video. Thank you, Scott. Cheers. One of them. Yeah, he's... I agree with you, pal. I agree with you. Paul Ernesto, Italian Cop Blades, says, Hi, Jimmy. I hope you're well and your dad Andy's okay. Family's okay. A huge boost for the Blades. Brilliant and experienced right back. Positive signing, Jimmy. Mate, up the Ramble, up the Blades. I'm very well, thank you, mate. Hope you are too. The family is as well. Thank you for asking. And yeah, I'm really pleased with it. Three Mucky Ears says, do you reckon Bamford will sign the contract, big boy? Sign the contract. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I've said that quite consistently all the way through, and I might be wrong. I've got no inside info on it. I just feel like it makes the most sense for him to sign here, and the club recognises how important he is. So I'd be very surprised if we didn't. Hopefully he's a good addition, says Matt. I agree. I think he will be. Seriki's been class recently, says Dweeb City. Yes, he has. But we have been running a risk, haven't we? I think it was Paul that said on Football Therapy last night, had Seriki been injured 5 games ago, we'd have been up the creek. We would have been in big trouble. Because who have we got beneath him that can come and perform anything like? And we haven't, have we? We haven't. I was thinking we'd go for an alternative right back who was more defensively minded. But we've not. We've gone for a similar mould, I would say. And I love it. I love it. I think it's a really strong, surprising but strong move from United. Well done to all involved. It's a good signing, says Jack. It will push Femi more rather than bringing in Harry Clark, who didn't do it. Zonny says, good signing and a very similar player to Seriki. Shame we didn't sign him on loan to buy. You never know, do you? You never know. We'll see what happens. I won't worry too much about the future immediately. Scott says, I think the signing of Hoover kind of added a bit of substance of this injury that Seriki may be carrying that was reported by Danny Hall. Yes, I think it does, Scott. I think it does. Maybe a backup keeper, says Dweeb City. Yeah, what I'm saying is we're not desperate for any position, are we? I don't think we're desperate in anywhere now. So we can take our time and get the right players in. It's a good position to be in. I'm not saying we don't need to strengthen, because we do, but we're not desperate to strengthen. Joe Blade says, morning, Jim, from a sunny Fuerteventura. Oh, morning, pal. It's freezing here, by the way. Hope you're well, pal. I am, mate. Hope you are too. Hoover is exactly the sort of signing we need. We also, for once, really need some pacey left wingers and right wingers with good technical ability. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. It doesn't matter what player we bring in, says Jack. It doesn't change Femi's job. Perform. Well said. Well said, mate. Imagine if we bring in 1 or 2 more like this, we're getting promoted. Ian says, morning, Jimmy. Good Wilder type signing. Just need the Patman to sign to Patman sign to appear in the sky. Now, that's what we were speculating last night, weren't it? It's it were a Patman, but it turns out, because there was the Batman. For those that aren't aware, there was the Batman signal when Sheffield United announced they were going to be announcing the first signing in January. The Batman signal went up, and we're thinking, Batman? Who's Batman? And we settled. It must be Patrick Bamford, Patman. No, Patman. And that was Maury, I think, that suggested that first from our Platinum chat. Yeah, of course it is. No, it's Ki-Jana Hoever, who's got a Batman tattoo. So, yes, we do need the Pat signal to go up now, Ian. You're right. That's the next thing. Sheffield United confirm Hoover's kit number for the season. Number 12, worn by John Egan. What a ledge. That's a big number, a heavy number to hold for Ki-Jana. Best of luck with him carrying that weight of the number 12. Jimmy two times says, I can't help feel we left it too late for the playoffs. Blade for life, you know how it is. Better to manage your own expectations, pal. And if you want to think like that, you're more than entitled to. And that's great, because you're safe, aren't you? You don't expect it, and if it happens, it's a bonus. Love that. Luke says, I'm surprised we've gone like for like. I thought we'd go for a solid defender and have that George to a Bogle. Yes, I thought so too, pal. I thought he would go for that mix, but I think he's just gone for quality of player available by the looks of it. And that is exciting in its own way for me. Mark Meldrew says, love the Henry signing. Henry Hoover, for anybody that didn't pick up on that. Good competition for Femi, which is what we need. First of many, let's hope. Sign the contract, big boy. Up the Ramble, up the Blades, up the mark by Meldrew. Top man. I'll hopefully see you Sunday, mate, if we're not called off. Morning, Jim. Hope you're well, pal. Any news on Bamford, says Martin? Not yet, mate. Not yet. We're waiting like you are. Don't be fooled by highlights. Other teams' views on him, says Mark Meldrew. McGoldrick was meant to be horrific, and he's one of the best we ever had. There's a song about that in there. The best I ever had. Chariots of Wire says, I like this. A player who's bought for decent money, now looking to reinvent himself. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. Paul says, still think we need a centre half. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. Real? I don't think we do. Well, that don't mean I love all our centre halves, but we've got. I don't think we're changing centre half at all. I think we've got Tanganga and me or Bindon. The other one is the third, and McGuinness is behind them. And I think that's how it'll go for the rest of the season. A little bit like the forwards. If Bamford signs, we won't sign another striker this window. I'll be very surprised. Brand says, just need a couple of wingers and some cover for midfield to replace sick note Davis. Want to see Zatterstrom given a go. Anel was an unknown until we gave him a go too. I don't think you were an unknown. You were playing well, weren't you? Were Anel, and you were bought for decent money. I suppose Zatterstrom was as well, to be fair, Brand. I fully expect him to go out on loan and get minutes elsewhere because he's not going to get anywhere near first team, in my opinion. And in terms of centre midfield, Gyro, Arblaster, Peck, Samari, Davis, whichever way around you want to put those last two. I'm not sure. I think we might, just because Davis is unreliable in terms of fitness, unfortunately. Blaster's had a big injury that he's still coming back from. Peck is still out, but almost coming back. Just because we've got 3 question marks over 3 of the 5, then we may go for a centre midfielder. But again, I don't think we're desperate. So it's a good position for the club to be in. Right, we have gone 17 minutes on 10-minute transfers. But when I was telling you about the transfer, it was about 10 minutes, weren't it? So that's the main thing, isn't it? So thank you to everybody for joining us this morning. I'll be back later this afternoon with the press conference. I think the press is going on about 12. In fact, I'll check while you're here just so that we can make sure we're all on the same page as to when we're coming back. SUTV. For those that want to watch it, it's on SUTV. You have to log in. It's in 2 hours and 11 minutes. So it's at 1:30. Okay, 1:30. So we'll be live at 2. Or around 2 o'clock. As soon as it finishes, we'll be live with our breakdown of the press conference. And you can come over there and have a chat about it with us at your leisure. So for now, up the Ki-Jana Hoever. Come on, you red and white wizards. Up the Blades!